I've now come to the third play in the Orestia trilogy by Aeschylus. This is Eumenides. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Let me know in the comments if I'm getting that wrong. But, anyways, I'm just going to go with that pronunciation for now, the Eumenides. Now, just to recap our story so far, in the first play, Agamemnon was killed by his wife, Clytemnestra. In the second play, Orestes, Agamemnon's son, avenges his father's murder by killing his mother. And then at the end of the second play, Orestes gets chased off stage by the Furies, who are old gods whose job it is to avenge crimes against blood. Because he has killed his mother, after all. Now, here at the beginning of the third play, Orestes is being tormented by those same Furies. An interesting thing here is that Orestes' sister Electra is completely gone from this play. She is missing from the action. I had thought she had played a greater part in this. I think I want to say in the myths, the retellings of ancient Greek myths I read as a boy, she figured more prominently. I don't know if there are other versions of this where she figures more prominently. Also, Orestes' friend and cousin Pylades is gone. So it's just Orestes now by himself, being pursued by the Furies, and Apollo, who comes to comfort him and assure him that Apollo will watch over him. Because Apollo, of course, is responsible for this. Apollo is the one who moved Orestes to murder his mother in the first place. Now, when reading this thing with Apollo and later on Athena is going to get involved in it, you do have to wonder a little bit, why do the gods even care? They're very powerful beings who could be doing any number of other things besides involving themselves in the squabbles of human affairs. Now, to be fair, I suppose that same question you could ask of any religion. Why do the gods even care about us in the first place? But I feel like in Greek mythology, there are some Greek myths in which the gods are detached from human affairs, or which the gods only serve as antagonists from human affairs. And I feel like those are the myths I'm more familiar with. So to have Apollo and Athena so involved in seeing that justice gets done in this case, it is not. It strikes me as not the Greek gods I'm used to. But anyways, that's the setting here. Hermes is also name dropped frequently, although he doesn't actually appear in the play. Clytemnestra, who was murdered in the second play, makes a reappearance here as a ghost to wake up the Furies and urge them on to do their furying. Now, interestingly, the chorus here is the Furies. And as I mentioned in my previous reviews, and I'll leave a link to the previous reviews in the description down below, I haven't read any Greek drama, really. I always thought that the chorus was just like this existential voice. I didn't realize they were characters in the play. But in the first play, the chorus was the elders of Argos. In the second play, the chorus was the Trojan woman. And now the chorus is actually the Furies. So they play a big part in this. The chorus is actually not just some existential commentary on the play. The chorus is the antagonist of the play. The chorus is the Furies are convinced that it is their duty to torment Orestes because he killed his mother, and this is their old mission. They also, Athena and Apollo try to intervene on the case of Orestes. But the Furies are not happy about this, and they view Athena and Apollo as new upstart gods. So this, see, any quotations I can find here of them calling up new upstart gods. So I believe if you go back to Theogony by Hesiod, the kind of origin story of Greek mythology, their Genesis myth, I think that the Furies were actually, the children of the night. And night was one of the very first primordial beings. And the Furies are descended directly from her. So they are older than the gods. The gods, of course, the Olympian gods are the descendants of Kronos the Titan, who came a couple generations after that. So they frequently refer to them as the upstart gods. Now, Athena gets the idea, she's brought into this by Apollo, she gets the idea that they're going to have a proper trial to sort this all out. Because the Furies are convinced that it is their right and duty to torment Orestes because he has killed his bloodkin. And Apollo is convinced that Orestes did right because he had to avenge the death of his father. Athena brings the action over to Athens. So I believe Orestes is from Argos, and Athena is taking it over to Athens. And it is portrayed in this play that this is the first proper murder trial. So before this time, if there was any murder that needed avenging, it would be done by the clansmen of the murdered people. But now we are witnessing a change in civilization. And this is one of the civilizational milestones, at least according to this myth. We're no longer just going to have the murder be avenged by the avenging blood clan. We are actually going to have a proper trial in Athens with 12 Athenians and a herald. So I guess Aeschylus was an Athenian. This play was produced in Athens. We have, in the first two plays, I think the action took place in Argos. And we didn't hear too much about Athens. I don't believe we heard anything at all about Athens. But now I guess this is where the Athenian audience gets its fan service, so to speak. We talk a lot about how great the city of Athena is, meaning Athens, and how Athens' destiny and all this kind of stuff. Talk about the Athenian people, and Theseus gets mentioned several times. Anyways, we have the trial here. Now, the Furies argue that Orestes has to be guilty and tormented because he killed his mother. Apollo argues that killing a woman is not as great a crime as killing a man. And the Furies point out, Apollo cites Zeus as an authority on this. But the Furies point out that Zeus actually killed his own father, the Titan Kronos. So that's a contradiction. Apollo then goes to the argument that a mother's not really a parent. The mother is only the ground in which the seed is implanted. So males are descended from males, and the woman is just the ground in which the seed grows. And this is actually an interesting little theory. Now, I mean, of course, nowadays we know that's not correct for like 100 different reasons. But put that aside. Imagine you're an ancient person with no knowledge of modern biology. Um, maybe that would make sense, right? I believe semen is Latin for the seed, so that's just another indication that this was the view of ancient people. So the seed is put in the womb by the man. Now, I guess the ancient peoples didn't really have any idea about the egg being fertilized, right? The egg was microscopic. Even when a woman had her period, you wouldn't see the egg, right? So I guess maybe their view just was that the man contributed to the seed, and the woman's portion was just the ground in which the seed is grown. And Apollo further cites as an argument for this that males can father with no help from the female. For example, Athena, who was born right from Zeus's head, with no woman involved at all. It makes sense to a degree, again, assuming you know nothing about modern biology, except, I mean, didn't the ancient people have, they must have realized that there were genetic characteristics inherited by a mother, right? Like if you have a mother with black hair and a father with blonde hair, and the children come out with black hair, that's an indication that the mother is providing more than just the ground for which the child is being born, right? I mean, in any child, sorry, the ground for which in which the child is being grown, I mean to say. Any child, you look at them and you can see so many of their mother's characteristics in them, as well as their father's. Um, I mean, this is just obvious, right? So this that this seems to be something that the ancients should have realized. I don't know what's going on with this argument here. Now, it's obvious that this is not exactly a feminist take on the genetics of children here in Aeschylus, and you do not have to go very far on the internet or YouTube to find that this is the thing that people are complaining about with this play. And you know, fair play. It's low hanging fruit. It doesn't seem to have aged well, unless I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments if I'm missing something, if it's being ironic, or if this is not actually the idea that Aeschylus is hoping that you will take away from it. So the jury rules in Aeschylus's favor. He is not guilty. And Orestes leaves promising friendship between Argos and Athena. Argos and the people of Athens. And again, there's more fan service for the people in Athens who are watching this play. Get a good headlock on. Let's start here. Farewell, Athena and people of Athens. Get a good headlock on whoever you wrestle. Come from all bouts with the victory laurels. And he also talks about, the friendship between Argos and Athens. Before I go to my country, I will give you this god bond, this land and its people, now and forever. No clan chief of Argos will ever attack you, or I'll come as a ghost if they've broken my god bond. So I think Aeschylus, at the time he wrote this was before the Peloponnesian War, right? So before Athens and Sparta were at war. But I think even after that, Argos and Athens were frequently aligned, was my understanding. I'm taking this from the Peloponnesian War by Donald Kagan, which I read a couple years ago. I had always thought that Argos, before reading that book by Donald Kagan, I had previously thought that Argos was aligned with Sparta just because they were right next to each other. But I guess the fact that they were right next to each other didn't mean they were aligned. In fact, they were rivals for influence. And so Argos would frequently align itself with Athens against Sparta. So I think that's maybe what's going on here. I don't know. I don't know, really. This is another case where it might be nice to have footnotes in this edition, but alas, no footnotes, nothing explained. So, all right. So next, the Furies again. The Furies are the chorus, complaining about the upstart gods. And they say that because they are denied their vengeance, which is their birthright, they have this black vial, this rancor that is oozing out of them. And they are going to put it all over the city and countryside of Athens and just make everything foul, shrivel up the crops, I guess the wombs of the women as well, starve all the people, and just put out their vile black venom all over the land, I think the impression you get from this is they are such foul creatures that they're just oozing vile, and it's got to go somewhere. So if it doesn't go on the victim that's theirs by right, it'll just go all over the land. Athena reasons with them and pleads with them to actually not be the avengers of Athens, but go on and become the guardians of Athens, become guards that are watching out for the people of Athens and protecting its civic virtue. And after a few pages of back and forth, the Furies actually take her up on this. And so their name actually changes. Where is that? Athena says that they are no longer the Furies, but they shall be known as the kindly ones. Sorry, I'm looking for the place where she says this. It's somewhere in here. If I can't find the exact line, you'll have to just take my word for it. So the Furies are going to be the kindly ones. Is this it? Turn out so kindly. Here we go. Peace between the kind ones in Athens. I think it's mentioned before that as well. But the kindly ones is what the word Eumenides. That's what that means in Greek. So that's where the name of the play that's where the name of the play comes from. Now, I had thought, and again, this goes back to my reading of Greek myths when I was a boy. I thought I remembered reading that the reason that the Furies are referred to as the kindly ones is because the Greeks were terrified of invoking them. And they didn't want to do anything that would upset the Furies. So they would just always refer to the Furies as the kindly ones in order to, not get the Furies mad at them. This is a different explanation of that than I'm used to. I don't know if this is kind of retrofitting the name of the kindly ones onto the Fury and giving it a back explanation, or perhaps I was misinformed or I'm misremembering where the name the kindly ones come from. Actually, yeah. Sorry. Lost my train of thought there. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on this play. There are other things to talk about. Other people have commented about how the geography of this play goes all over. Start out at Delphi, and then they end up in Athens. So there's a lot more traveling in this play than usual. That would be usual in a Greek play. Scene changes to Athens. Yeah, okay. I'm going to stop talking here. What I'm going to do next is the next video I film, or at least the next video I film on this book, I'm going to try to talk about the Oresteia as a whole, because that's how it's presented in this book, and I think that's how it's frequently presented, as just one whole work. So in that video, I'll probably repeat some of the same things I've been saying in the previous videos, but I'll try and sum things up and talk about it as one whole.